I want to clarify some of the key terms in this conflict. The terms I want to clarify are: what is Judaism? What does it mean to be a Jew? Who are the people that the Quran referred to as the Bani Isra'il? Who are Zionists? And then what is the country that is today called Israel? And then who are the Orthodox Jews and the liberal Jews? And finally, who are the Palestinians? Judaism is the religion of those that follow the scriptures as revealed to Moses, which is Musa alayhi salam. Musa is a descendant of Prophet Ibrahim. Ibrahim and alayhi salam is also the patriarch. He's like the first person that established the monotheistic religion. So he's the grandfather of all monotheistic religion. And his children, Ismail and Ishaq, which is Ishmael and Ishaq, are the two branches. And then Ishaq is the father of Yaqub. And Yaqub is the one that now has the 12 tribes that are called the 12 tribes of Israel. So the children of Yaqub are the ones that make the Bani Isra'il. One of them was very successful, and that is Yusuf alayhi salam, known as Joseph. If you remember the story of Yusuf, he was the one that was sold into slavery by his brothers. After the whole issue of the tree in the well, they were going to kill him, and sold him into slavery, which led him to go into Egypt. So initially, these people, the children of Yaqub alayhi salam, which is Jacob, were in Israel. And then Yusuf went to Egypt. And when Yusuf became successful in Egypt, he called his parents, in one way or the other, his parents and the children and the family moved out of the area that is more or less Palestinian area into Egypt. And then the whole story of them staying there. So that's like the first place that you now have the family of Yaqub, the Jews, staying there. And the Jew in the form of those that practice Judaism. And the whole story of Moses, that's Musa alayhi salam, and then Allah asked him to lead the children of Israel back to the promised land. And that's one of the problems of this issue. Where is the promised land? Did they ever get there? Was it ever theirs? So if you look at it, after Moses led them into crossing the Red Sea, parted this Red Sea and crossed into the Sinai area. That is the area between that's that peninsula between Egypt and modern day Saudi Arabia. This is where they wandered. They never got to the Palestinian area officially. If you say, what is Judaism? Judaism is essentially those that follow the Torah as revealed to Prophet Musa alayhi salam, also known as Moses. So the second thing is, who are the Jews? The Jews are the children of Yaqub alayhi salam from his wife. So being a Jew is not something a non-Jew can become. You can practice Judaism, but you cannot become a Jew. So now we have tried to clarify what is Judaism and who is a Jew. And then the people that the Quran refers to as Bani Israel, they were the children of Yaqub, the complete children, the 12 children of Yaqub are the Bani Israel, and the whole story, them being the chosen and Allah helping them and everything up to that point. So the next thing we want to get into is, who are the Zionists? So Zionists are the group of people that sprang up in the late 19th century, around 1890, before the 1900s, when the World War I started. So the Zionists were the people that sprung up after all the persecution historically of the Jews, that we need a homeland of our own. So they are like the people among the Jews that were like, no, we need to build a homeland of our own. Before then, Jews have been persecuted all over the world. As they wandered around the Sinai area, they dispersed all over the world, especially into Europe, into Northern Africa, into Asia, but everywhere they go, Jews are usually persecuted. So the Zionists are the groups among them, in partnership with people that are even not Jews, to build the movement to find a home for the Jews to settle down and have a place they can call their home. So Zionism, from the eyes of the Israelites or the Jews, of some of the Jews, is a good thing. So now we get the meaning, the Zionism. It's not like a secret cult, really. It's just the group of people that are determined to establish a home for the Jews. The question now would be, where is the home and where can they find the home? The fact of the matter is, the Jews have been around the Palestinian area, into the North Africa and everything. And even at a point in time, we have the whole story of the David and Goliath. Prophet Sulaiman, alayhi salam, which is known as Solomon, built a temple there to worship God in Palestine, and he was Jew. So it would really not be accurate to say Jews have never settled in the land of Palestine. The next term is Israel as a country, as we know it now. Moving from the mission of the Zionists to create a homeland for the Jews, they worked over time. They probably have explored other locations, I don't know. But the clear thing was that the Holy Land, Jerusalem, and the Palestinian area is where they believe that the family of Ishaq and Yaqub left to go to Egypt and try to come back. So for them, it is clear that this land is this. And the truth of the matter is, over time, Jews have always been in this area. Even when the Muslims took over the land and the whole area, in fact, at a point in time, there was a caliph of the Muslims that got to Jerusalem and asked, where are the Jews? And they said, they are all gone because they've been driven away. And he said, no, this land the Jews are part of the history. They are part of this land. He had it in the history that the Jews are supposed to be here, and asked that they should go and look for Jewish families and bring them back to also settle in this area. So the fact of the matter is, there was Jewish presence. There has always been a Jewish history associated with the land of Palestine. If you look at the Palestinian area, closer to the edge of the Mediterranean Sea, is a low, marshy land. So in truth, the Arabs were not occupying this low-lying area. They were more at the higher ends of the land. So the Jews that were coming were essentially at the low end of the land. So they didn't worry so much initially about this Jewish arrival, until they started noticing it and it started becoming a problem. But these Jews were backed by some of them that were really rich in Europe, in America, and all over the place. So with the money, a lot of them were able to buy the land from Arabs. So by the time the Jews, with the money from Europe and everywhere, buys it off one of the Arab leaders, is able to have a big chunk of land, and he has paid for it. He has bought it. So that gave them some legitimacy. That enabled them to start farming and developing in this low-lying area close to the sea. And then with time, the whole conflict started happening. They started the Arab population started realizing that these people are buying up lands and they are getting numerous, their population is rising. They started having their own militias that can attack the Arabs and chase them away, have conflicts where they just keep pushing them. And it became even more tense. And this led to everything that it led to, until you had the whole Second World War. And after that, you now had the second declaration by the UN. When they made that partition, they made the whole partition. The British left and created the foundation of the mess that is currently now happening in Israel, Palestine. It was at that point the state of Israel was officially pronounced in 1948, May 14th of 1948, and war broke out immediately the day after, because the Arabs would not take that, and the Israel believe they have the weapons, they have the backing of the Western world to establish their state, their nation on top of the people that were there. In my next report, I'll be discussing the real issue on the ground now. What is making this crisis unresolvable for years? How has Israel been trying to cage and at the same time pacify the Palestinian, and how have they been using working with the Arab world to create a new narrative which has just been shattered again in this recently. So that will be all for this episode. If you liked it, if you benefited, or if it has provided more clarity for you, please click the subscribe button. Help me share it. More and more people could potentially get to benefit from it and get more clarity on it. And then we can build a community where we talk to each other and find a way to build a more peaceful world through effective communication. Thank you very much. I'll see you in the next one.